Hello everyone and welcome to another game of Squirrels Baseball. I am Aaron and we are still at home to do a series with the Brewers here. And I must admit I almost forgot to record this game today. Had my younger daughter's last soccer game of the season, and then we had a little get together at my Aunt Connie's, and then came home and mowed the yard, and then had dinner, did some dishes, all that kind of stuff, and here it is about 8:30 and realized, oh crap, I didn't record the game today. So here we are. Still plenty of time to get it in today, but glad I remembered before it got too late. Oh, Joey's average dipped below 300. I hadn't realized that. Remember, we are coming off of a loss against the Nationals yesterday. Still plenty of cushion in the standings. We've got an 11-game lead over the Cardinals, Reds, and Brewers, who are all tied in that second spot. So obviously the Brewers would love to make up some ground, though they are getting Graves, and like I said, the pitching rotation seems to be in a much better spot than it was there in April. Tony Gwynn Jr. to lead off per the norm for the Brewers. Just thought I should probably look at the schedule because I don't know when our next off day is. Need to know that for bench. The 13th. So what's that, Tuesday? Yeah, so the last game of this series will be back to the bench guys. Tony Gwynn Jr. grounds out to, I believe that was short. Brings Ronnie Cedeno to the plate. First pitch is a fastball for a strike. Second pitch put deep into left field. That's going to be trouble. It will roll nearly to the wall. Frank's the one that ends up getting it. Cedeno probably could have made that into a triple, but decided a one-out double was okay. Yeah, he really got a hold of that one. That's a very deep left center, as we've said many times here at Pampaka Park. So that probably would have been off the wall in a lot of places. Ryan Braun then at the plate. We'll look at strike one. There's a curveball for strike two. Then a ground ball to short. Actually, they try to get him back at second. Cedeno does get back. Still plenty of time to get Braun at first. So 2 outs now. Runner on second. Bill Hall at the plate. Looks at strike one. Then swings under a fastball. 0-2. Swings and misses at a curveball. Graves pitches around a 1-out double. Still not a bad start if you're a Brewers fan. The Squirrels will start off with Kester. Again, as usual. Looks like the same lineup we've been seeing out of the Brewers. Barry Zito on the mound. We've seen plenty of him already this year, and he's done pretty well. First pitch to Kester is called a strike. Then fouled away. That makes it 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. One down, Marvin to the plate. He will bat right-handed to start off this game. First pitch from Zito is a fastball for a strike. So that fastball looked harder than 82. Marvin with the base hit into center field. So both number 2 hitters with hits in the first inning, though Cedeno's was a little more authoritative. Chief at the plate will look at a slider for strike one. Hits this one right at Nitro. They go to second, throw back to first, not in time. 2 away, runner on first. Terry at the plate now. Ooh, that curveball called a strike. Did not look that great to me. Goes back to the curveball, again gets the call on an iffy pitch. Then a changeup, which Terry puts into right field. Chief's going to make his way to third base to put runners on the corners here in the first. Frank at the plate. There are 2 outs. Finally, that curveball not called a strike. And that changeup misses outside. 2-0. That slider misses outside as well. Makes it 3-0. Will Zito load the bases? Not on that pitch. Frank actually swings and fouls it straight back. 3-1. Hits this one. That's into center field, left center field. 1 run already in. Terry on his way to third, and he will turn and head for home. Frank stops at second base. Throw goes home. But that's a 2 RBI double to give the Squirrels an early 2-0 lead. Again, that is a very, very deep left center. A lot of room to run if you let a ball roll around back there, which both teams have done now. Tom at the plate, a runner still in scoring position. There are still 2 outs as Tom swings and misses at a fastball. That curveball out of the zone. Of course, I think all the curveballs have been out of the zone. The umpire just has not agreed with me. Tom with a 1-2 count now. Swings and misses at a curveball, and that will end the inning, but the Squirrels come away with a 2-0 lead. We'll move into the second inning. Nitro will lead things off for Milwaukee. Nitro up to 9 home runs. He did hit 1 against us in the last series. Trying to remember now who he hit it against now, because I can't remember off the top of my head. Has an 0-2 count in this at-bat. And he watches that slider go too low. 1-2. Graves puts in a fastball, catches the outside corner. Nitro does not like the call, but he is the first out of the inning. Mercado to the plate now, and he looks at strike 1 on a fastball. Graves winds and pumps in another fastball that's called a strike. 0-2. And there's a slider swung on and missed for strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts brings Muto to the plate. If it were up to me, maybe it's a handedness thing, but I'd probably have Muto and Mercado switched in the lineup. He has an 0-2 count in this at-bat, though. This one just misses inside, 1-2. Graves with another changeup, gets a swing and a miss. 3 strikeouts in the second inning. So we go to the bottom half. Zach is going to lead off for the Squirrels, who currently still have a 2-0 lead. Zito winds and puts in a changeup for strike 1. Comes back with a fastball that's off the plate, a bit outside. Swing and a miss makes it 1-2. Swing and a miss, that's strike 3, 1 away. Joey to the plate. As mentioned in the pregame, he's down to 299. So frankly, if you go back and watch the first Squirrels season, he was struggling to even hit at 200. So the fact that he's become as good a hitter as he has become is a minor miracle. Softly lines out to second in this at-bat. That'll bring Graves to the plate. Obviously, we do not pay Graves to hit. Fouls this first ball away, though he is hitting 182, which for him is pretty good. He's usually, even for our pitchers, he's one of the weaker hitting pitchers, and wouldn't you know it, comes up with the base hit up the middle in this at-bat. So runner on first with 2 outs. Kester at the plate, struck out in his first at-bat, one of 3 strikeouts the first time through the Squirrels' order for Barry Zito. This is hit towards second. Cedeno makes the play. So still a 2-0 lead as we go into the third. Van Hecken will lead things off for the Brewers. Van Hecken having a much better season at the plate so far because compared to last year. He actually hit home runs at an okay pace, but his average, I think, was below 200 until the very end of the year. Pops out in foul territory in this at-bat. 1 down, Barry Zito at the plate. Hitting about like you would expect Barry Zito to hit with a 133 average. Does have an RBI, though, so that's something. Has a 1-1 count in this at-bat. Looks at strike 2. He goes down swinging, the 5th strikeout victim for Graves, the first time through the Brewers' order. Gwynn, not one of those strikeout victims. He ground out to short. This one is going to be a ground out to second, and that will end the inning. We'll go to the bottom of the third. Still 2-0 Squirrels. Marvin will lead things off. Marvin with the base hit back in the first inning. Looks at strike one here. Looks at strike two. Called strike three. It was an iffy pitch. Marvin didn't like it, but that's what we're going to go with. That'll bring Chief to the plate. He is still batting over 400, even after having a little bit of a scuffle there in mid-April. Has an 0-2 count in this at-bat. Swing and a miss, strike three. 2 down, 2 strikeouts for Zito so far in the inning. Terry got a base hit in his first at-bat. Looks at strike one. It was a 2-out hit too, I should note. And an 0-2 count in this at-bat. Terry also hitting .450 with 6 home runs so far. He's had a good start to the year. Strikes out in this at-bat. So just to match Graves back in the second, Zito 3 straight strikeouts in the third. We'll move into the fourth. Still a 2-0 Squirrels lead. Ronnie Cedeno to the plate for the Brewers. Cedeno with a well-hit double in the first inning. I do believe that is the only Brewers hit so far, though we are just now hitting the middle innings. Has an 0-2 count in this at-bat. Graves puts a fastball by him for another strikeout. Ryan Braun ground out in his first at-bat to a short. There was a little detour at second base to try to backpick Cedeno that didn't work, if you'll remember. No such shenanigans in this at-bat. Has an 0-2 count so far. And he will swing and miss for a strikeout. Graves on a roll here. Bill Hall struck out in his first at-bat. He will watch that changeup hit the dirt. This one, slider that's called a strike. Hall took a look at the umpire, and I don't blame him. Have not been super impressed with the umpire in this game either way, though I suppose the pitchers don't mind. Hall now with a 2-2 count. This one called a strike on the inside corner. Hall again not happy, but we will move into the bottom of the fourth. Still a 2-0 Squirrels lead, and the Squirrels will start off with Frank at the plate. Frank with he's driven in both runs today. Got him up to 19 RBI so far with a double into the left center gap. Looks at that changeup for strike one. This one bounces in to make it 1-1. This one up the middle, that will get through for another base hit. Just a single this time. Tom struck out in his first at-bat. And he will watch that curveball bounce in. And that fastball misses down and away. There's one right over the plate. Tom lets it go by. 2-1. Another very hittable one. Tom does take a hack at it, but comes up empty. Then hits this one to Nitro. Nitro to second. Hall back to first. Not a good throw. Not in time either. Zito did scoop it, though, so nothing too crazy. So one away. Runner on first for Zach, who puts a line drive into left field for a base hit. That'll leave runners on first and second for Joey. He lined out to second in his first at-bat. Looks at strike one here. Still only one out. 0-2 count at the plate, though. And that's into center field for a base hit. Tom is not going to try to score. Probably a wise decision. Loads the bases for Graves, who got a base hit in his last at-bat. Raised his average to 250. He will look at strike one. Swings and misses to make it 0-2. Hits this one, but foul. We'll try it again. Called strike three on the outside corner. 2 away. Kester at the plate. I've gone blank on what Kester did in his last at-bat now. Grounds this one. That gets through the left side. 1 run in. Another one trying, and Zach is there in time. Throw is a little bit offline. So 2 more runs for the Squirrels. Makes it 4-0. Marvin at the plate with 2 outs. Runners on first and second. Marvin with a 1-1 count to start this at-bat. This game kind of slowly getting away from the Brewers. This one into left field, but pretty much right at Braun. So that will end the inning, but the Squirrels tack on 2 more as we move into the 5th. Nitro due to lead off for Milwaukee. So the hit by Kester was not real hard hit, but it was just out of the reach of Hall, and Zach on second really read that one well, was able to get around third and into home in a hurry. Nitro has an 0-2 count to start this at bat. And he will hit this slider over to first. Terry picks it up and steps on the bag. 1 down, Mercado at the plate, struck out in his first at bat. He will look at a slider that is outside, or not a slider, a changeup that's outside. And that fastball's down and in, makes it 2-0. Here's a swing and a miss, makes it 2-1. Changeup gets another swing and a miss to make it 2-2. Fastball ground back to Graves. He does make the play, gets it over to first. No nonsense. 2 outs. Muto at the plate. Struck out in his last at bat. He was part of that 3 strikeout chain back in the second inning, I do believe. Oh yeah, must have been. Oh, that slider catches the outside. I don't think Muto cared for the call too much. Swings and misses at that one, and that will end the inning. His second strikeout of the day for Muto. So we'll go to the bottom of the 5th. Now a 4-0 game. And Chief will lead things off for Indianapolis. Chief is 0 for 2 today, a ground out and a strikeout. And he looks at a high fastball for strike 1. Then swings at a low fastball for strike 2. Zito follows that up with a curveball that's popped way up in the air at the plate. Van Hecken makes the grab. 1 down, Terry, 1 for 2 today. Only hitting .447 now. That slider well outside. And that slider too low. 2-0 the count. Zito fires back with the fastball, but it's outside. 3-0. Terry gets a called strike on the outside corner. 3-1. This one in the dirt. That's the first walk of the day. 1 on, 1 out. Frank is 2 for 2 with double and a single so far. That curveball goes around the zone. They check over on first. Terry not much of a threat to run. He's not that slow, but just no real need with the runners behind him. Frank swings and misses. That makes it a 1-2 count. And swings and misses. He's retired for the first time today. 2 down. Tom is 0 for 2 so far. Strikeout and a ground out. That curveball called a strike. I do believe it actually was a strike this time. And then a swing and a miss on a changeup to make it 0-2. That changeup stays high. Tom does lay off. Swings at this one, but comes up empty. That will end the 5th inning. A 4-0 Squirrels lead still. And Van Hecken is due to lead off things for Milwaukee in the 6th. I guess that means I need to start thinking about how I want to handle the pinch hitter, because Graves' spot in the order will come up next inning. Speaking of Graves, he is sitting at 9 strikeouts here in what should be his last inning of work. Has Van Hecken at a 1-1 count. Gets a soft liner towards second. Kester's able to scoop that in the air. Barry Zito struck out in his first at-bat. And he will look at strike 1 here. Line drive towards short. Joey short hops that one, throws to first. 2 down. He's got Tony Gwynn Jr. now to try to get that 10th strikeout. Gwynn has ground out in both at-bats so far. Looks at strike 1. This one out of the zone. Gwynn lets it go. Hits this one. That's going to be a base hit into right field. 1 on, 2 outs. Cedeno coming to the plate. He is 1 for 2, a double and a strikeout so far. First pitch is a slider for strike 1. Runner goes, and Tom will cut down Gwynn and make sure that Graves stays at 9 strikeouts on the day. Maybe the one time Graves would have rather somebody stole a base. The Brewers are going to change pitchers, find Mosquera, who actually did very well against us the last time we saw him. It's just that Elder started the game and did terrible to start off. Hall and Muto do their customary switch there on the left side of the infield. Zach at the plate is 1 for 2 so far today. First pitch is down and away. Mosquera throwing that knuckle curve. Ground ball right to first. Nitro scoops it up and steps on the bag. That'll bring Joey to the plate. He is also 1 for 2 today. Got his average back up over 300, sitting at 303 at the moment. Mosquera throwing 2 high pitches, but Joey swung at that second one. 1-1. This one more in the zone, but Joey again whiffs. 1-2. Ground ball, Mosquera can't field it. That's going to get through for another base hit. Not a hard hit ball. I actually thought Mosquera might actually field that one. We're going to put Phil into pinch hit. He's actually been very effective at the plate, almost hitting 400. If he'd hit like this back in Season 1, he'd probably still be our starting second baseman. First pitch is called a strike. Second pitch swung on and missed, makes it 0-2. Hits this one, is, well, no, too slow hit for a double play. And it gets away anyway. E6, Muto just drops the throw to second. So now 2 runners on with only 1 out. Kester at the plate, swings and misses at the first pitch. Hits this one. Bill Hall will throw to second, and that's the only out the Brewers get. So that'll bring Marvin to the plate. He's going to flip around left-handed. 2 outs, runners on the corners. First pitch swung on and missed. Second pitch looked at right down the middle, 0-2. Looked at again, and that will be a strikeout. We're going to move into the 7th inning. I really have no idea how I'm going to double switch here. Phil does not have the speed for an outfield. Maybe I'll send Kester out there. Cedeno's going to lead off for the Brewers. We're going to go get Jones. He normally follows up. Usually follows up Graves. Let's put Kester out in right. We'll move Zach to center. I don't remember if Zach's actually rated for center field as a secondary position. Or not. Yeah. But it was something we've definitely done before. So we'll see how this goes. Cedeno 1 for 2. Remember, he was at the plate when Gwynn was cut down stealing second last inning. So now he gets to face Jones instead of Graves. It's a foul ball. That's a 1-2 count. Another high fastball gets a swing and a miss for the first out of the inning. Ryan Braun is 0 for 2 today. And that's popped up towards second. Phil will make that grab. Bill Hall has struck out in both at-bats so far today. And that fastball is inside. Jones tries again. This one's called a strike. Little ground ball back to Jones, who throws to first, and that will end the inning. 7th inning stretch time, 4-0 Squirrels lead. Chief will lead things off after the break. Right. So Chief is 0 for 3 today. His first pitch from Mosquera is a fastball for a strike. That is a line drive that does land fair down the left field line. Chief is going to cruise in for an easy double. Does not bother sliding, didn't need to. So runner in scoring position right off the bat. Terry will look at a forkball that is out of the zone down at his feet. And then a knuckle curve that doesn't get back to the plate. 2-0. Swings at that knuckle curve, comes up empty. Hits this one, and that will be a base hit into right. Chief stays at third, as he should have. Runners on the corners for Frank. He's 2 for 3 on the day. This pitch is called a strike. The lower right quadrant of the zone shows bunt. Oh my goodness, what are we doing? Chief is tagged out on a squeeze attempt with a 4-run lead and power hitters at the plate. Terry does take second for whatever that's worth. Frank with an 0-2 count now. Hits this one into left field. Braun going back, he should make the play, and he does. Terry gotten a pretty healthy jump off a second. Does get back safely. Tom, I do not believe, has a hit today. Watches that slider for strike one. Another called strike, 0-2. Up and away. Up and in, 2-2. Mascara threw, I think, a ball that was out of the zone, but Tom chased it, and that will end the 7th inning. Still a 4-0 ball game as we go into the 8th. Nitro will lead things off for the Brewers. Given the lead, we will stick with Jones for the 8th inning, at least for now. Nitro's 0 for 2 today. Strikeout and a ground out. Pops this one up right at the plate. 1 pitch and 1 out. Had to make sure Tom actually caught that one, which he did. Mercado also 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. And he will look at strike one here. Jones being pretty efficient with his pitches, I feel. Grounds this one to second. 2 away on 2 pitches. That'll bring Muto to the plate. He has struck out swinging in both at-bats so far today. Looks at strike one here. This one off the plate. Makes it 1-1. Goes with the breaking ball. Gets a swing and a miss. Back to the breaking ball. Another swing and a miss. And Muto has struck out swinging in all 3 at-bats today. So we'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Zach is due up. Still a 4-0 Squirrels lead. And it's not a save situation, but I wouldn't exactly call it a blowout either. Just 2 2-run innings. It's not like the Squirrels have been scoring every other inning. Zach with a 1-1 count. Hits this one, a ground ball to short. Muto takes care of that. 1 down. That'll bring Joey to the plate. He is 2 for 3 today. Lined out in his first at-bat. 2 singles up the middle since. Looks at strike one here. This one called a strike. 0-2. Hits this one. That'll be a base hit into right field. 3 for 4 on the day. That's a good way to pump that average back up. Phil reached on an error last time. Muto just plain dropped a ball on what could have been a double play. And should be a double play here. Phil is terribly slow, and it sure is. 6-4-3 to end the inning. So we'll go into the 9th. It is not a safe situation. 4-0. Van Hecken due up for the Brewers. So we will turn to Zap here, even though I know he's not full rested at all. We're going to actually put him into Joey's spot. We will put Quentin into the game. Actually, no, we will not. We will put Miyake in the game. So we'll move Kester back to short, and then put Zach back in right field where he belongs, and Miyake in center where he belongs. So, after a couple possibly uncomfortable innings, now we actually have all the defense back in positions that they are actually rated to play. Van Hecken 0 for 2 so far today. He looks at strike one here. Well, I don't think that changeup ended up where Zach was actually aiming for it. This one was more where he wanted, but Van Hecken takes it up the middle for a base hit. That will bring the pitcher spot up. The Brewers wisely turn to Ricky Weeks to come into the ball game here. Just a little surprising that he is not starting over Cedeno to me, but I'm sure the game has its reasons. Weeks up the middle again, and that will be another base hit. Back-to-back base hits. The Brewers have doubled their hit total just here in the 9th inning. Tony Gwynn Jr. to the plate. 2 on, nobody out, and Shibuya might want to get ready. First pitch is called a strike. That's soft hit. Oh, bad base running by the Brewers. A triple play? Not quite. Oh, my. Both runners too far off the bases. Thankfully for the Brewers, Weeks was able to get back before it really turned into a disaster. Double play was already bad enough here. Cedeno with a 1-1 count. Hits a ground ball. Chief on the line, picks it up and gets it over in time. That is your ball game. The Squirrels bounce back. Your final score, Milwaukee Brewers 0, Indianapolis Squirrels 4. It's a better game than that score would suggest, at least for me. And I do believe that was the hardest hit ball of the day. That double back in the first inning by Cedeno. I feel like he could have had a triple if he really wanted it. And that ground ball, not all that hard hit, just very well placed and good base running by the Squirrels. As opposed to the terrible base running later on the supposed squeeze play. Frank is your player of the game for driving in those first 2 runs. So thank you everybody for watching. If you'd like to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, feel very free. Otherwise, tomorrow on Mother's Day, we will have the Brewers again. We will see you then.